I used to think that athleticism was strictly for the field or for sports. Growing up, I always played some type of sport. Started off with baseball, thanks to my dad, who no longer is here, but he definitely started me off on the right foot playing baseball. And then, as soon as he found out that I found that baseball was boring, I told him directly. I was like, I just don't think baseball is fun enough, so he put me in football. And then in football, I'll tell you a funny story about that. Um, the very first time I ever tried out football in Pee Wee was a time because they put me on the offensive line thinking that I could block. And I turned around and I tackled the quarterback as an offensive lineman. So then they put me on the defense side, and well, the rest was history. I guess I was born to be a defensive end. So, I played football all the way up until age, pretty much first year of college. And then that's when I just decided that this feels like it's too much of a job and I just stopped playing. But, you know, long story short, uh, athleticism, I've always had it, but I have had the opportunity to see what it has felt like to not use it and to not work out for a good period of time, to allow myself to feel like what it truly means to be a dad who strictly just works and not work out at all. And let me say that it's very difficult to do certain movements when trying to do anything, in life. Prime example, I've literally just reached over to try and pick up something and I hurt my back because I was not working out. When I went to go and do something with my kids, I felt my knee just wanted to have pain and almost feel like it wanted to give out again because I wasn't doing the exercises that I do now. And when I realized that those years ago, I was thinking to myself, so this is all because I don't exercise? I felt like I was age 60, 70, and I had like bad back and bad knees, and that was not the way to go. So the the thing that I started researching was that, you know, you start to deteriorate after the age of 27. Not even 30, after the age of 27. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, so I do have to keep exercising in order to have my body feel better from the inside out. Because if I don't, then otherwise I'll be hitting that walker or wheelchair a heck of a lot sooner. And my goal in life is to make sure that I never ever need it, no matter how old I go, no matter how old I get. So and that's the thing that I want to be able to teach you guys is I want to be able to teach you as a dad that is constantly on the go, busy, um, but you're not really taking care of your body like that. I want to be able to teach you how to do exercises that will help with your body that you will not need to do for very long, like a quick little 30-minute session, and boom, you're done. So in some cases, probably quicker than that. And these exercises and drills, they just really are exercises that have to do with athleticism. Like literally, like in one of my videos, I did say go and get a speed ladder and start doing some speed ladder drills. So that alone will help keep your calves, your knees, your hamstrings, your quads, all well developed, so that you can keep yourself afloat, at least for now. Because there's a heck of a lot more of athletic exercises and drills that I'm prepared to show you, and to make sure that we keep your body nice and young and fit and able bodied, because you get to a certain point and you realize man, I can't do that. I really can't. And it sucked when I realized that I couldn't, when I got to a certain point and I couldn't do what I used to be able to do. When I used to be able to do, uh, you know, when I had a great jumping ability, great sprinting ability, and I couldn't do that anymore, and that hurt me. That hit me here, and I didn't like it at all. So I made the change. I realized that I needed to just stick with what I knew, and especially after I became a fitness coach, and I utilized the knowledge of that, and I made my own program, and didn't take long for me to get to where I am today, and I just stuck with it up to this very moment. So I will do the same thing for you, and let me tell you that you do have to go through the pain of going through that first week, because that first week is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt physically, but it's better to go through it now physically versus going through it later in life mentally, when you're age 60, 70, 80, when you realize, shoot, I wish I could have done this when I was in my youth, when I was early 27, 30, 35, 40 even, when you have the time to, or when you should have made time to actually put in the effort to get your body to a point to where you don't have to worry about, oh snap, I really can't do this. I have to get my son, or I have to get somebody else to do this. So that's the idea behind my entire program, because after experiencing that for myself, I started thinking, well, dang, I just imagine if people who are always on the go, who are always working, dads especially, who just don't do these types of exercises. I can imagine like your back hurting really bad, or even having bad knees, or when you go to just standing up, you're like, you hear crack, 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 and you're like, what the heck am I, a transformer? So I know how it feels. I know the pain. I know what you're going through. But if you guys are indeed looking for the answer to solve all of your bodily issues, your problems, as far as you not being fit enough and you not being able to do what you want to do, you want, or if you have kids who you feel like you actually want to do things with them, like just play at basketball, maybe two-hand touch, throwback touch football or something like that, or even just swinging a bat, baseball. You don't want to be able to swing the bat and you're like, oh man, you don't want that either. So if you're looking for the answer to first fixed and then prevent later on down the line, then shoot me a comment below, dad, and I'll reach out to you, and I'll get you squared away. But I want you guys to like and subscribe to this channel, because I have so much more to be able to share with you guys, and make sure you share it with a friend. All right, I'll see you guys.